over COVID, when people are closing, as we are hiring.
When God blesses us with wealth,
yes,
we start shrinking.
Daktari sema kishwa kukuuma. I never slept for 1 year. One time somebody called me and I was abused for 3 hours.
And you still give him a hearing?
What do you do? Over 500 people paying.
Wow. Off plan?
Yes. So the partner did not deliver.
You're talking about a loss to the tune of how many millions?
$2 million. I think that for the first time I saw OPTIVEN now closing.
Good evening. Welcome back. This is Overflow show on Hope TV and Hope FM, where we live life in abundance. And this show is broadcast every Saturday from 8 to 9 p.m. And just in case you have missed our earlier episodes, you can go to our YouTube channel, Hope TV Kenya, and you can be able to see all the other previous programs. We have been doing a series on wealth creation, where we approach wealth holistically, so that you don't just become rich, but you enjoy your riches. You don't just pursue one area of life, but you pursue all the areas, because life is not just about riches. Life is more than riches. It's about your health. It's about your relationship with your significant others, your relationship with other people. It's about how you relate with God. It's about your health and many other things. And we had a guest last time, Dr. George WACHIURI, the CEO, the MD of OPTIVEN, an award-winning real estate company. And we are glad to have him back to continue with the story from where he started. Partner with us to keep this program on air. And you can partner with us by just supporting us through Rafiki So. You can go to M-Pesa. Our paybill number is 933. Our account is FOH Overflow. And God will bless you. Welcome back, Dr.
Thank you, Dr. James.
Yeah.
Yes.
Last time we started about how you grew up.
Yes.
In poverty.
And then it became emotional.
Yeah, and among 7 siblings.
Yes.
And how you had to repeat class 8 and finally go to secondary school, how you struggled with your school fees, and finally how you wanted to become a teacher. But on the day of choosing the careers, something attracted you to BCom. And without even knowing what BCom is all about, you chose and you found yourself at the University of Nairobi.
Yes.
The interesting part was you didn't have fees.
No.
And you had some people singing in the Christian Union. You went there, perhaps out of curiosity, and you ended up getting born again. And then it's like all of a sudden, you started discovering very lucrative opportunities. And we normally say problems are opportunities. You saw that people needed to be taken photos.
To be shaved.
Your brother bought you a camera. People wanted to be shaved, and you commercialized those services. You became a barber. You became a cleaner. You are literally washing people's clothes. Wow, that was interesting. And then you got employed for some time, for 8 years, resigned to join business. And you had a car business that unfortunately went down. And then you tried your hand in real estate, and the first deal in the real estate, using all your savings, 5 million, went down the drain when you got conned into a land deal, a land that never was, because it belonged to someone else. And now you never gave up. But for 1 year, you struggled. You even started job search again. Became very discouraged. But there's someone who came into your life. He was God sent, a mentor from Nigeria. And he spoke live into you and mentored you free of charge and invited you to Salem of all the places, despite the fact that you're not even paying for mentorship. And by God's grace, you are able to pick the broken pieces and start again. But again, the first deal as an agent, you never got your commission, which was supposed to be 2.5?
2.1 million.
Yeah, but nevertheless, you went back and the stars started shining, and you attributed it to the working formula, which is trusting God.
Amen.
Put God first.
Amen.
And now we stopped at somewhere where OPTIVEN is now doing well. You have set up the systems. You have the legal systems. You have the financial system, people to do accounting for you, people to do the auditing for you. You have all the systems are in place, and you are professional. They said something that I still remember. Hire those who can fire.
Hire people you can fire.
Hire people you can fire. So that if you cannot fire them, then that's a red flag. Let's start from there. I know OPTIVEN has been winning awards.
Yes.
At one time it was, I read somewhere, the best or the top real estate company in the diaspora. That was 2023.
Yes.
And that time it was declared among the best real estate employer, I think in East Africa.
Yes.
And you have been winning awards. Tell us about now the OPTIVEN story. what has made it successful? What are your key milestones? What are your key achievements? Because there are many real estate companies that have come and gone down. But yours is still thriving. It's still doing better and better. Talk to us.
Well, thank you, Daktari. And I am admiring your memory.
Thank you.
You could recall all the story we discussed last week. And of course, when we look at OPTIVEN, OPTIVEN now is a movement.
Wow.
It's no longer a company.
It's become a movement.
It's a movement because...
A global or a national movement?
I would say a global movement because we have offices in Delaware.
Wow.
And we have a big vision. We are saying the next, by the year 2041, we must be operating in 21 African countries.
Wow.
And that's why we've been traveling all over.
All over.
And it's now a movement. And this movement is like an oasis where people come and get benefits, spiritual benefits. That's why we pray every morning. It's an oasis because people are getting money to finance their families. And no wonder we say our vision is to be the champions of socio-economic transformation. And one of the things that we attribute for this steady growth of this organization, one of them, of course, I said, God is in the center.
Yeah.
And definitely, the other one is that we have a particular vision that we follow. So we are very focused on the vision.
What's the vision statement of?
Is to be the champions of socio-economic transformation. 2 words.
Wow.
Socio-economic.
Transformation.
Economic is housing people, comfortable living, good neighborhoods, building communities, like what we are doing in different counties in this country. And then socio, we'll be talking to it later, is the foundation, whereby we give 5% of our money that we generate to the foundation. And one of the things that we have discovered as our Let's Say Pay for Growth is that powerful vision. And then number 2, leadership. Because John Maxwell said, everything rises and falls on leadership. If the leadership is not okay, a company cannot grow. We have board of directors. We have the senior leadership. I am there as a team leader. And you have the structure for leadership. So everybody knows what they're supposed to do. And definitely, any organization, OPTIVEN, we have developed serious systems. The business is able to run on its own. Like I said earlier, it's like a plumber who does the piping, the water flows. And then as an organization, OPTIVEN, we see that integrity is the center of our operations. Sometimes we buy land and it have got maybe court cases. We refund people's money.
To the last penny.
To the last penny. Integrity is very important. And telling people when you have made a mistake. And then one of the things I also discovered as a tenant, as a Let's Say Pay for Growth for OPTIVEN, is the talent that we hire. We don't hire people based on where they come from. We hire people based on their attitude, their skills, their ability to adapt to the OPTIVEN vision. And even we tell them, when you come to OPTIVEN, this is an organization with a certain culture that you have developed. The culture of honesty, the culture of professionalism, the culture of innovation. We allow everybody to dream.
You hire the best.
We actually hire the best. Actually, we have the best.
Some of the challenges we have in our local company is that they may hire the best, but they can't keep them because they don't even remunerate them well. Are you able to keep your talents?
At OPTIVEN, we have people like Michelle who are here over 10 years.
Wow.
Our director is now, have been in OPTIVEN for the last 16 years.
What's the secret? What is that you do different?
The secret is that we have created an environment at OPTIVEN whereby you decide to come to work because the environment is warm. We don't allow abuses or high note when you're talking to people as a supervisor. We say that at OPTIVEN, you must use PEST. Whatever your communication, please, excuse me, sorry, thank you.
Wow, PEST.
PEST.
PEST, oh yeah.
Please, excuse me. Sorry, and thank you.
Wow, that's
our communication.
Yeah, starting from the CEO.
From the CEO.
You lead from the front.
Exactly. And then for leaders, we operate open door policy. Sometimes people come to me, not because they want any professional advice, but they want social advice. They open up. I had a problem with my spouse.
Yeah.
What do I do? So that's the kind of openness that you have
developed the whole person.
Exactly. Not only career, your target. No. Yeah. Even social. Are you doing okay socially? And that's why every once a month we bring a pastor for a fellowship.
Yeah.
So that we have created that environment that people consider OPTIVEN as a home.
Wow.
When you have challenges, you have a welfare. And then we invest a lot on training. Because as you get people, they may be having degrees and masters and PhD. But if you don't train, we hire consultants like Dr. James to come and mentor these people, train these people, and they consider OPTIVEN as a real home. So we don't have challenges of turnover.
But just what do you do? Because
yes,
people are the same people. Sometimes you have boardroom disagreements with your fellow directors. People don't think the same way. Even with your management staff. What do you do when you have disagreements? When you are going east, someone is going west.
Wow, there's something that we do. Like now we are doing our 2030 strategy.
Yes.
We are now doing 2030 strategy. And when you do this strategy or long-term plan, it doesn't come from George WACHIURI. It comes from the cleaners.
It's bottom up.
We call them, we don't have cleaners. We call them environmental specialists.
Wow.
It comes from drivers. We don't call them drivers. They're called chauffeurs.
Wow.
They're important.
Even the labeling is very friendly.
And then they come. We discuss what we want to see by the year 2030. So they own up all the decisions. There's something we call the brainstorming sessions. When we do the brainstorming sessions, we write our titles. Manager, general manager, supervisor sales. We fold those titles. We put them in the dustbin.
Wow.
We say, we are now equal. So every idea that comes up is an important idea. There's no stupid, there's no silly idea. And people now speak out. And that one has made OPTIVEN for the last 26 years to be an organization that involves people in decision making. So I would say that our disagreements are dissolved at the start.
Wow.
And we are able now to make this organization to grow like a mustard seed. It started like a small seed. Now it's a big tree offering shade to many people and offering birds' nests. And no wonder we are calling it a movement.
Wow. I know the core business of OPTIVEN initially was what? What's the core business?
It was stationary initially.
Yeah, and then we went to...
Now we went to... An idea just came in 2008 of land business.
Okay.
And when we thought of land business, somebody told me, George, you are funny. Land business is where corruption is. How can you go and sell land? How will you survive? Then I told that person, we shall sanitize this business. And today, people quote OPTIVEN that you have sanitized the way land business is done. And I remember we said, we're not going just to sell bare plots. We came up with a word, value-added plots, whereby we buy like 1,000 acres. And then we do the infrastructure, the roads, the solar street lighting, the power, the water systems. We fence it, do the house designs, ready to build. And then we sell this to customers, either on installments or in cash or through bank statements.
What are some of the projects that you've done successfully?
We have done over 100 projects across the country. And right now we are doing a huge project in Nanyuki. It's called Great Oasis, whereby we are selling a property at 399,000 and people are now building.
How big is that property?
It's 1,300 acres.
Okay. What you're selling at 300,000? How big is that?
50 by 100.
50 by 100.
But if you want to buy 5 acres, 10 acres, there are some smaller real estate, they come and say, George, I want 50 acres.
What's a variation have you done on that land?
We have done a very nice roads. We have done electric fence around it. We have done a huge water tower, biggest in Laikipia, biggest in terms of going up.
Mode of payment?
You can pay for the poly within 1 year.
A deposit of how much?
You put 50,000 deposit, 100,000, or what you have. In fact, we say we are open. Tell us what you have. You just call us and tell us what you have. That's the project for Nanyuki. Very near Nanyuki, it's about 12 minutes from Nanyuki town. By the grace of God, we have another very interesting project. Because for us, we have projects in terms of stars. 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star, 5 star. 1 star is just bare land. It's usually very cheap. You can get a property with only 130,000. That's a 1 star. You keep it there. 2 star, you do road grading.
Okay.
3 star, you do manam roads. We plant the trees, we do the power, we do the water, we do the water tower. 4 star, we add solar lights along the streets. Then 5 star, we do cable roads.
Wow.
Now the one we are doing in Vipingo is a 5 star.
Vipingo in Coast.
In Coast. And has become very, very popular project and it's a huge project, it's 500 acres. And you've seen a lot of customers coming to do homes. And those are some of the current projects. But in the past, we have done projects in Gong. We also have a project in Gong called Kimuka 2. We have projects in Nakuru. It's called the Ushiri Gardens in Nakuru. So there are like now 15 active projects, even in Kitale and Kisumu.
So you have actually sold land to many people. You have settled many people.
Thousands of people.
And that's what you are calling socio-economic transformation.
If you go to Kitengela, where GMC is, we have a property there about 117 acres. You see the kind of homes there. You just say, hey, look at what one time a very small company called OPTIVEN can do, because now people are there with the families there. We have planted fruits in that project. We have done the roads, solar street lighting. Power is there, and families are getting happier there. No wonder we say that OPTIVEN is about creating smiles. Making those happy communities.
Yeah.
So those are the projects we have done in the past.
George, real estate is known to be riddled with corruption.
Yes.
Even to getting that title, you may have had to facilitate.
Yes.
How do you manage that as a Christian?
One of the things that we do when we started the real estate, of course, the time we started was even worse, because for us, we were baptized by fire.
Yeah.
The first 5 million, we lost it. And we went into a depression for about a year.
Yeah.
So we discovered that for real estate, you cannot do it single-handedly.
Yeah.
So we believe in partnerships. So we have surveyors who survey our land. We contract them. We have lawyers. We contract them. We have those who process titles. We subcontract them.
Yeah.
And that has given us very easy time, because people who do title processing, the guy who does for us has done it for over 20 years. So it becomes very easy. You say, per title, we pay you maybe 100,000 or 200,000, depending on the value. And that has made work very easy. Of course, we are in the counties whereby they say, hey, we want surrender.
Yeah.
And then we negotiate with them. Where is the surrender in the constitution? Do you know it's not there?
Yeah.
Because that surrender.
What do you mean by surrender?
Surrender means you give 10% to the counties.
Oh, okay.
And do you know constitutionally, that 10% should go to the communities. So what we do is that we register homeowners association. So those surrenders, we transfer the title to the community.
Wow.
That buys our properties. Like we have a project in Murang'a. We have 7 acres. Instead of going to Murang'a County, we give to the community to own it, and they can do whatever they want. So that's what we do. And we have made that, we have discovered that system is very straightforward.
Yeah.
But if you want to do the title yourself, you want to do the variation yourself, you want to fence yourself, of course you cannot grow.
In your projects,
Yes.
buying and selling land, have you ever lost money?
Severally.
Yeah. Maybe you can give the greatest loss that you ever encountered.
I think one of the biggest loss we had, it's, OPTIVEN, we love customers.
Yes.
There was this hype of greenhouses.
Yes.
And every single real estate was doing greenhouses, whereby you partner with somebody and tells you, you'll be paying your customer 600,000 every 6 months.
Yeah.
And the people were excited. It was like a fad. As we had refused. But our customers kept calling us, hey, WACHIURI, why can't you do these greenhouses? So we went to Kajiado, about 200 acres, did the roads, did the water, did the fencing, did everything, created a dam. And then we signed up with a partner. And the people are paying the partner for greenhouse and paying us for the land.
So the partner, you are to do greenhouses for the clients.
For our customers.
So they were buying plots
From us.
that would have greenhouses.
Yes. And then they pay for a greenhouse, 290,000
Yeah.
to the partner.
Yeah.
Hey, people trust OPTIVEN.
Yes.
Hey, over 500 people paid.
Wow. Off plan.
Yes. So the partner did not deliver.
Your part was to deliver the land.
Yeah, which we did.
The partner was to deliver the greenhouses.
Yes.
Now you have bought the land using the people's money, the client's money, and the greenhouses were never there.
Land is our money.
Yeah.
You use our money to buy land and develop it. And then we are selling those plots at 250. The partner was selling greenhouse at 290. And the people paid for both land to us, greenhouse to the partner. Did not deliver.
Wow. The loss of
Daktari sema kishwa kukuuma. I never slept for 1 year. Because people were saying, hey, WACHIURI, I saw OPTIVEN logo, that's what I paid. Though I did not pay you, but because of the logo, I paid there. I think that for the first time I saw OPTIVEN now closing. That's like 5 years ago. It's not a long time ago.
And where is this partner? Is he still at large?
He could be watching us.
Yeah.
She could be watching us. And it was very tough. We went to courts.
You're talking about a loss to the tune of how many millions?
$2 million.
That's roughly 230. That's roughly how much?
200 million.
200 million.
Yes. So that's why you want to sleep, you can't sleep.
You can't sleep.
You don't know how to behave.
And you're dealing with about 500 people.
Yes, and they're calling you. And one time somebody called me and I was abused for 3 hours.
And you still give him a hearing?
What do? You're saying, I'm sorry. We apologize. We are sorry. We are looking at it. And I was called all the names. We're a church elder. A thief. You are a thief.
And they go to social media.
Are you born again? Yes, they went.
So the social media was awash with dirty linen.
They were all over. Let me tell you, for the first time you try to think, the head is not thinking.
And where is the partner this time? Take the burden of the...
Do they care?
Oh, they don't even know the person. The person is faceless.
No, they know the partner. But they said we went there because we saw OPTIVEN. That's the time we went to Catalonia for prayer. 3 days.
3 days. And your wife.
And we were asking God, what do we do? We can't get, there's no business that can get that kind of money. God convinced us, go to the bank and borrow. That's what we did. Went to the bank.
And borrowed.
It was over COVID. It's not a long time ago. This money, it was over COVID. It's recently.
2020,
So the bank gave us the money. And over COVID, we paid people money. Money that never came to us. We refunded. And remember Muse from Kinagop, who had put 3 million from his retirement to the partner, came to pick the checks in the office. He knelt down, an old man, and prayed for us. He prayed. Then he took the checks and went. Let me tell you, God is God of miracles. After we pay that money, the OPTIVEN revenue went up by 30%. Over COVID, when people were closing, as we are hiring, in fact, over COVID, we had... During COVID, we had 200 more people in OPTIVEN. We expanded. It's as if God just... Because me, I told God...
But you're saying...
Yes.
The strive went for a whole year.
Whole year.
You refunded the money after 1 year.
After 2 years.
After 2 years.
2 years. Because were
you sued by people?
Of course, there were like a file like this, letters from lawyers. Yeah. Court cases like this. But never joke with God. When we refunded everyone, of course there are 1 or 2 who refused.
To be refunded?
Refunded. Our revenue went like this. I remember wiring 10 million to diaspora, some group in New Jersey. They did a screenshot. Come and see a company that refunds people's money. It was going like this, round like this. And people were calling, hey, WACHIURI, where's land? And they were buying because they can say, if you can refund this, money never came to us. And God just did a miracle to OPTIVEN. Today, I say, even if you are there, we owe you money for greenhouse, come now.
You still refund?
We still refund.
Integrity. That is nothing but integrity.
Yes.
Doing business with integrity.
And this is a book I wrote.
Yeah.
Because the pain I felt, I would not like Dr. James to feel that pain.
Yeah.
I would not like our viewers
to
feel that kind of distress, the stress.
Yeah.
I did a book. The mistakes we did, what we did not do. For me, I confess. When I make mistakes,
it's good to confess.
I am open up. I confess. I have confessed in this book. Maybe there are things we would have checked, like guarantees, all those kind of things.
Some due diligence.
Of course, we did due diligence. They already had a big company, huge, but everything is there.
Yeah. Wow, thank you, Doc. That's great.
And that was not the only challenge.
Yeah.
People who do real estate, they have many challenges.
Yeah.
We have paid land twice. You buy land, subdivide, and sell. After a year or 2, somebody comes with a title.
The real owner. And you have to pay again.
What do? You pay again or refund people money.
Yeah.
We have refunded people's money. That's why I tell people who do business, always have a reserve. The money you collect, 4%, keep it somewhere for the rainy day. Because people ask for refund.
Yeah.
So have some reserves.
I think you are a true testimony. You live true to the scripture that says in the book of Proverbs that a good name is more desirable, is greater than riches.
Yes.
And to be esteemed is better than gold and silver.
I agree.
A good name. I think that's what you have cultivated.
Yes.
A good brand.
Yes.
That the market perception of OPTIVEN is very good. And people know. And of course, people are very forgiving. Even if you make an error, as long as you take responsibility and you refund. Wow.
If you Google it on social media,
it's there.
OPTIVEN refunds. It's all there. And I want to encourage business people out there. When things don't work out, have somebody you can talk to. Talk to God. Look for solutions. I know they are my friends who are in real estate and they have gone down because of those kind of challenges.
Yeah.
Please don't give up. Talk to someone. Don't just disappear. There is always a way out. God gives us a way out.
Hold it there. I can see time is really gone and we can't help but stop there for now. And you're going to take a small commercial break. And when you come back, you'll hear more of OPTIVEN Limited.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Catch Sitam Special.
He's the God who raised up Moses in a palace only to use him in the wilderness, and raised up Joseph in the wilderness only to use him in a palace. Young
1%. God is at work within your heart. What does it say? He is at work. It's Him who is at work in you.
If you are going to be successful in the service of God, it calls for sacrifice.
We get to appraise what God is doing, and by His invitation, partner with Him.
Come on, keep moving. He's inspiring you to challenge that which seems impossible.
What He would require of us is to declare, send me, Lord, regardless of our background.
Only on Hope TV.
Rafiki soul is the promise of a hand that reaches and goes beyond what angaza tumaini kote. I'm forever grateful. Ninashukuru ukarimu, ukarimu. I'm forever grateful. Ninashukuru ukarimu, ukarimu. Rafiki soul is a promise of a hand that reaches and goes beyond what angaza tumaini kote. I'm forever grateful. Ninashukuru ukarimu, ukarimu. I'm forever grateful. Ninashukuru ukarimu, ukarimu. Rafiki msoul.
Friends of Hope, keeping hope alive.
Good evening. Once again, welcome back. We continue with the Overflow show, and we are on Hope TV and Hope FM. We continue with the conversation with George WACHIURI, the CEO and the MD of OPTIVEN.
Thank you.
And we are talking about the challenges that you have faced in this real estate. Real estate is laden with corruption, and that's why many real estate companies have gone down. But you are saying you have built a name, you have cultivated integrity, and where you even have losses, you actually refund. Let's continue. What are some of the other businesses that you have invested in apart from the real estate?
Thank you, Dr. James, and our viewers. I said earlier that one of the things that we do at OPTIVEN is to creating opportunities for other people.
Yeah.
Creating 30,000 jobs by the year 2030. We discovered that real estate may not really create 30,000 jobs.
Yeah.
And we said, what else can we do? And we discovered that some of these properties we are buying, for example, Vipingo, Nakuru, Kitengela, and other areas, some of these properties are in a very, very prime areas. So I thought just came, what can we do to these prime areas that we can be able to hire hundreds of people? So an idea came. We went to Kitengela and bought land there. And we discovered that this land, we can do a beautiful theme park. I was inspired when I traveled to Thailand or Thailand. And I saw the way people come to have fun. So when we saw that land in Kitengela 5 acres, we said, this one we are not subdividing. This one we are doing something for our children, for families, because people would come from church. But where they go, they are either bars or somewhere. We said, why can't we create something for children? Bumper cars, banana wheels and everything else. And an idea just came. And then the time we opened it, we hired 200 people.
You're talking about GMC Fund.
GMC Fund Place Kitengela.
I've been there, and you can tell it's fantastic.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's purely for families.
Yeah.
So we said, hey, wait a minute. That means hospitality, you can be able to hire more people. So an idea just came. We went to Waterfront. We opened another GMC. We hired 70. No, these are big numbers.
Yeah.
These are families being fed.
Yes.
And then we went to the Hub Garden.
Yeah.
We opened a franchise called the Eagle Peak Spa. Hired another 80.
A replica of the GM Fun Place.
Now that one is a franchise from South Africa.
Yeah.
It's popular for pork. It's very popular for pork. And then right now, we are doing one of the biggest theme park in Kenya, in Nanyuki.
Wow.
In our project in Great Oasis. We are developing even a helipad in Nanyuki on a 15-acre development. We are targeted to hire 1,000 people on that theme park.
Yeah.
And we discovered that the role of an entrepreneur, we said earlier, not about money.
Yeah.
It's about creating opportunities. And that's why we came up with other ventures that are creating jobs. And of course, as jobs are created, they're also generating revenue. We also discovered that the property we are doing validation, we are doing water, solar street lighting, we are doing carbon roads. We need to build homes for people.
Yeah.
So we registered OPTIVEN Construction.
Wow.
That one, we did a few homes, but the company collapsed last year.
Why?
So we have closed it.
Why did it collapse?
It's a long story.
It's a long story.
It's a long story. So we are no longer doing the home construction, but we are now partnering with other contractors who come to our projects and they do construction. We also did manufacturing of cable, manufacturing of poles. It also went down. So that means businesses, it's up and down. But hospitality is epic. It's good. Validation on land is very good.
Yeah.
But we also run our own insurance agency because we insure our properties, our people, our staff. It's also a very successful one. It's called OPTIVEN Insurance Agency. It's a very good organization. But the core is real estate.
Real estate.
Yes.
Did I ever hear of OPTIVEN Spa? What is it about?
That's the one. That's the one in the Hub Garden. It's called Eagle Peak Spa. It's a restaurant. That's a franchise between us, OPTIVEN, and South African brand that has got 200,000 stores across the world.
Now, Dr.
Yes.
Just tell me, in a nutshell,
yes,
what would you say are the critical success factors for running a business?
I think one of the things for you to run a very successful business, I said, trust in God. Number 2, hard work.
Okay, hard work.
Nothing comes easy. If you choose to sleep for 10 hours, I am sorry. You must work very hard. Number 2. Number three, every business that you do, you cannot work alone.
Yeah, partnership.
Hire the best talents.
Not just talent, but the best.
The best talents with the right attitude. And then number 4, you cannot work without building relationships.
Wow.
Relationship with the owners of capital. OPTIVEN, we are now able to do multi-billion projects. We don't have that money, Dr. Actually, you have no money.
Yeah.
Dr. James, you have no money. But you're using money from the owners of capital to do multi-billion projects.
So that means you have joint ventures?
Not joint ventures. You go to the bank.
Oh.
The bank, they have money. They don't know where to take the money.
Yeah.
Borrow the money at 16%. You do your calculations nicely. Sell those properties. Pay the bank. That money will ensure you hire people, you pay them salaries, you pay taxes, and you have something at the end of the day. You must build those relationships.
Talking about taxes.
Yes.
I know many people, many businesses have been penalized by KRA, or they are having court cases with KRA. Have you ever had such a challenge with taxation, or what you call statutory obligations?
One of the things that we have invested in OPTIVEN is getting very competent people, matters compliance. In fact, we have a department called compliance. VAT, submit. Pay as you earn, submit. Corporate tax, submit. We don't have any fights with Kenya Revenue Authority. In fact, last year, we are voted among the top 50 best taxpayers in this republic.
Wow, congratulations. And you got a certificate for that?
We got.
Yeah. Let me ask you, now that I know the time is really rushing.
Yes.
Many men, when they become rich, and now you are wealthy, you're among the wealthy men in this country.
Yes.
Many times they lose their family, they lose their faith. I mean, they just, things change.
Yes.
How has WACHIURI maintained his integrity, maintained his faith and his family in the midst of all this wealth?
Let me mention a very close friend of mine who really helped me when he discovered OPTIVEN we are growing. He called me for a cup of tea and told me, looking at me like this, there are 3 things that bring men down. He said, power, money, and women.
Yeah.
So I always remember that statement.
Power, money
and women. Because once you have the money, this phone, you'll be getting some text.
If not pictures.
And I have gotten.
If not pictures.
If not pictures. And one of the things that gentleman told me, I can mention him, is Kingston Ogango, the former CEO for Hope. He told me, if you want to overcome all these things, don't have secrets on your phone. Let your wife know the password, your children, your personal assistant. This phone here.
Transparency.
My wife can open all my social media. My PA, Nagilai, can open all the social media. Of course, he gets all the trash. And there's no secret.
Oh, you share your social media with your PA?
Passwords. Yeah.
Oh.
And he can check.
Yeah.
Even DMs.
What has come to your
My PA checks my DM.
Wow.
So if you said me something funny, say, sorry, this phone is managed. So you never come. That's how I protect myself. Number 2, if you check my photos, I don't have a habit of holding women. When I take a photo, my hands are here. And I train my managers on how to behave, even to other staff. When you take photos, put 30 centimeters between you and the female, the opposite gender. Because if you are not careful, you find yourself like David. And you know the penalties are lethal, you know. And that's why I keep myself focused and telling God, protect. Something else I also do, Dr. James, is my personal relationship with my wife. After this show, we have coffee date.
Wow.
And we usually do coffee date once a week.
Wow. And you are faithful to it?
24 years.
Yeah.
Faithful to it. When you go for coffee date or tea date, we don't carry phones. We don't carry our phones.
It's your quiet time. It's your quality time.
Yes. And then we say, let's discuss. Is there something I did for you over the week you're not happy? And then we say, once we discuss, we say, whatever happens in Vegas remains in Vegas. That's how we have grown for 24 years as a couple. Remember, we also work together. And that one has worked for us so well. We also have a rule. Every 3 months, we must take a break and go for a holiday.
Quarterly?
Quarterly. We must.
4 times in a year?
4 times a year. And then it's my wife and myself. For the children, we have plans for them. We must also take them for a holiday. Not because money has come, no. Even the time we had no money, we used to take a bus to Mombasa. At night bus is cheaper. We need to take a matatu to Naivasha. So I want to address young couples who are doing business together. Don't wait for money to work together. Even the little resources you have, you can do things.
When you say working together,
yes,
you mean you're running your businesses with your wife?
My wife is operations director.
Wow.
Yeah,
of OPTIVEN.
OPTIVEN, a group, the entire group.
Wow.
And she has done BCom. She has done CPAs. She has done owners management from Strathmore. So she is equally competent.
Wow. You have a very competent operations director.
Yes,
in other words.
Very competent.
Yeah.
Yes, very competent.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, very competent.
So in other words, for you, you have integrated your family in the businesses, in wealth creation.
I would say OPTIVEN is a family business. Because the other director is my brother, my older brother. The one who bought me a camera.
Wow.
He's there, so it's a family business.
I think this name GMC could be the
George, Mary, and Charles.
Yeah,
Charles is my brother.
Yeah.
Doctor, you are very sharp.
I suspect so.
Yes.
But thank you for setting a good model. Because many of us men lose it. When God blesses us with wealth, we start shrinking on matters to do with family, relationship with our wives or our spouses, and spirituality. Many people who have become rich have found themselves, what would I say? I'm looking for a word. They are not available for ministry. Family, and especially matters to do with church. Have you maintained your fellowship in church? Have you continued growing the way you are before you became this league?
Let me make a confession. When OPTIVEN was growing, I was not a very good boy. Because every Saturday, I have like 10 events I'm speaking. You know, hopping from one event to another. Even Sundays, after church, I rush to address a certain congregation to motivate them. Until one time we went for this coffee I told you about. And then my wife told me, you are losing it. Can we agree that Saturdays and Sundays, Saturday, don't commit to anything. Sunday, it's God's day. We go to church. You're not in a hurry to leave church and disappear to go and do talk. We made a resolution. Now it's about 7 years down the line. I do not take commitments on Saturdays unless it's very special. Sundays, my business is one. Go to church, serve God, go back home, take my children for dinner.
Wow.
It's as simple as that. At some point, Daktari, I was in very many board membership. I was in government boards. I was in many boards, university boards. And then we also agreed, please reduce now. And right now, I only belong to one board, our church. I decline so many. I decline all others because I discovered you cannot do everything in life. Allow others to.
A jack of all trades and a master of none.
Something else that also my wife does is that she makes me accountable. She's the first one who asked me, after I paid salary by OPTIVEN, because I'm paid salary by OPTIVEN, have you paid your tithe?
Wow.
Can I see?
You are faithful to pay the tithe.
Yes. Tithe is not negotiable.
Not only for your income, even for other businesses, I would imagine.
You have to.
Wow.
That's a secret for success.
Let's talk about OPTIVEN Foundation, giving back to society.
Yes.
What is that OPTIVEN does to give back to the community?
Now you are touching my heart. Remember my story at Uhuru Park and the commitment I told God, if you give me money, I'll support communities.
Yeah.
5% of the money we get, we take that money to OPTIVEN Foundation. There are permanent employees there for the foundation. And we look at educating those children that are pure orphans. We take 2 children per county. Every county we have 2 children every year. Right now we're about 700. Some of them have graduated, others are doctors.
You sponsor them in secondary school?
Secondary school.
Okay.
Secondary school. And then
how many per county?
2 per county every year. Every year.
What's the criteria?
We use the administration and the pastors in those counties.
To select the needy ones.
To select the needy ones. And then our team is able to verify and visit those homes to see whether it's the truth. The same foundation, we have a big program for people with back issues and cerebral palsy. We call it mobility that brings a smile. We give wheelchairs. You sit on that wheelchair, you smile. And then the same foundation, we have a big project for taking care of global warming. Our earth, our mother earth. We are known to plant hundreds and hundreds of trees. If you come to our projects, one of the things we must do is using clean energy and also tree planting. We had a program with the police, with the schools. This year we are giving tanks to the schools. If you plant trees and take care of them for 6 months, we give you a tank.
Wow.
Very interesting. We are in Kisumu. We are in different counties. And then the same foundation, we have a program for orphaned children. We are supporting 5 children homes in the city of Nairobi. We are in Kayole. We are in Madale. So we support them.
How do you support them? What do you do for them?
Some of them we buy them medicine. Others we buy them food. Others we buy them beddings. We also support a school in Ruai for teenagers that give birth and they are thrown away from their homes.
Okay.
We also support them. So that's about OPTIVEN Foundation. Because you say at the end of the day, a business that does not give solution to the community is a worthless business. And when people see the success of OPTIVEN, those 2 things, give to God, give to the community. If you try it, even your business, you have no choice but to thrive. Look at people like Bill Gates. They are supporting many organizations across the globe. The money is going up. Look at people like OPTIVEN, like Equity Bank. There is a secret when you give back to the community.
It goes to fly.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, naked we came, the Bible says, and naked shall we depart.
Yes.
We are just but custodians of the world that God has given us.
I agree, Doctor.
The Lord, the earth is the Lord's and everything in it.
Amen.
And I like for that principle that you have inculcated in your business. Let's talk about this man called WACHIURI. You are busy there working for communities, for societies, for your family. How do you do self-care? Many men have actually neglected themselves. I look at men, they can do a lot for other people, but not for themselves. I can see you look physically fit, you look handsome, you look young and fresh. Tell me about self-care. Tell the men, what do you do for self-care?
I think one of the things that we do as an entrepreneur, we can be very busy. And at one point, I was almost breaking down until the time I realized what you are saying, self-care. And I said, out of the 5 days that God has given us to work, I take Thursdays as a free day for myself.
Wow.
Thursdays.
Sabbath day. That's a Sabbath day.
Thursday is my Sabbath day.
What do you mean by?
I just stay home, take my daughter for shopping. I am there. I don't have my phone. In fact, we call it in our family, mwangale. You're just there. You are just relaxing.
I like that.
One day in a week. And then, of course, in the morning, I must exercise. Otherwise, the body will say it's tired. So one of my hobbies is swimming. So I love swimming. And then, of course, now we have grown, but we have also grown talents. So I am not as busy as I used to be. We have hired very competent general managers, very competent finance people. I used to do bank proposals for looking for money. Now I don't do it. If somebody does it, I just look at it. Actually, nowadays, Daktari, I'm finding myself a idol.
Wow. Because you have systems working for you.
Yeah.
Going back again.
Yeah, so I need for something to do.
Yeah.
And I thank God, because it's after 24 years of work. And I'm happy to say that that's what we call entrepreneurs. Don't do everything. Don't sign all the checks.
Yeah.
Have people to sign your checks.
Take care of the goods that lays a good and heavy.
Exactly, yeah. And that's a secret.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, if you look at the boy child, the boy child is very much endangered today's, and there are many women who are complaining about men in terms of many things. Yeah. What did you say? I know you were voted in 2024 among the top 50 most influential men in this country. What did you tell the boy child? What do you tell the man? Not just the child, but men generally, because we know the life expectancy of men is lower compared to those of women, on average globally. If you go to many of our prisons today, I think globally, you're finding men there. Men are the ones who are most involved in drugs. Let's call them self-destructive habits. What did you tell your fellow men?
I think one of the things is that for men, don't be like a buffalo. Don't stay alone in the forest. Yesterday I was in Mombasa and I met 40 men from PCA Kasarani. They had just come to have what they call the Eat Live at Voyager Hotel. I said, wait a minute. The people I see there is women going to enjoy themselves and swimming, and I saw that group of men. I would like to ask men, if you are there, please don't be alone. Join this association. If you are in church, join a group in the church. And also be available for your boys. Go out there and mentor these young people, because some of them are getting lost. And then don't do everything. What you cannot, in fact, practice 3 Ds. You either do it, you delegate, or you dump it. Don't do everything. And those men that are very ambitious, they want to do 10 businesses, do one first. Once it thrives, do the second one. Don't do everything together. And for us men, we need that support. Otherwise, you find men are committing suicide, especially young people, because they want to do things very fast. Then don't compare yourself with others. If you have to compete with yourself. Don't compete with other people, because there's always somebody who is better than you all the time. Compete with yourself.
Apart from the real estate and the hospitality industry that you have invested in, are there other multiple income streams that you generate passive income that you'd recommend? Especially in preparation for retirement.
I think it's good to have, as we get older, it's good to have something that generates money. One of the areas that we invest is on rentals. You can buy an apartment, put a tenant, or you can develop a rental development, maybe high-rise, and be able to get money. The other area that you can also put in is insurance. We have people like Britam doing Imarika. You can put your money there. Right now they're doing 13.4%. So every month you get something. You can also look at the shares. There are shares that are doing very well. You can put your investment there. Recently there was a IFB, infrastructure bond. At some point, they were paying 18%. That was crazy. Right now, they are now back to 13. But those are areas that you can put your money, you can save your money there, and the money will be working for you when you are sleeping. Yes.
What do you do to keep yourself healthy?
I think one of the things is that I'm a very positive person. I believe in a PMA, positive mental attitude. Read books that inspires you. Like now, the book I'm reading is called How to Get From Where You Are to Where You Want to Be. Read books. And then always have that positive mental attitude. Once you are positive in the mind, and then look for things that can make you happier. Have a walk. Sometimes I just walk. Go to Jivanji, go to Karula.
Physical exercises. Because wealth has several dimensions. And you have mentioned the economic, financial dimension,
and physical.
The physical dimension.
Your health.
How do you grow spiritually?
Especially,
how do you make sure that you grow? What are spiritual disciplines that you cultivate?
One of the things that I do every morning, as I read books, I must read a verse in the Bible.
Wow.
There's a book I read called small habits. Even if you don't read the whole chapter, 2 verses, 3 verses every day. Where I sleep, the Bible is next to me.
Wow.
When I wake up in the morning, I don't touch the phone. I touch the Bible first.
Wow.
Read a verse. That way, you grow spiritually. In my own church, your own church, you can participate. Don't just be a fence sitter, a back sitter. Participate. I'm now in our church. I've worked there as an usher for 15 years. So practice. When men are going somewhere, be there. So that other than growing financially, you also grow spiritually.
What do you tell a man or a woman who has lost a job, and because we have very few minutes now remaining, and this could be part of your parting shot, what do you tell someone who has given up in life? She feels that, or he feels that it is too late to even be anywhere where George is. Someone who has given up in life, especially on matters worth. A quick one.
Go and read the story of a guy who inspires me called Colonel Sunday. Colonel Sunday wanted to commit suicide.
The founder of KFC.
Yeah, at age 60. But before committing suicide, he discovered there's some job he has not done. Now, that guy lived many more years after 60, and he now owns over 200,000 stores across the world.
Wow.
The thing is, don't give up, because giving up is dangerous. There's still an opportunity for you. And when the challenges come, God is preparing you for bigger assignment. When he lost $2 million and had given up to go back to Kenny, where I come from, but God knew that he's going to restore OPTIVEN and George WACHIURI. God is going to restore you. Please don't take that rope to hang yourself. We need you tomorrow. We need you next year. There's still a chance that God saves.
Wow. That's a good way to end the show. We have been talking to Dr. George WACHIURI, the CEO of OPTIVEN, and this man is so many things in one. And I think just by God's grace, you're able to do all these things. And this has been the Overflow Show on Hope TV and Hope FM. Please partner with us to keep this program on air, and you can partner with us by becoming a friend of Hope. Just go to your M-Pesa. Our paybill number is 933-933, and our account is FOH Overflow. Till we meet again next week, God bless you.
Amen.